So looking at the restless earth question, first question asks about two ways, so you've got to make sure you write two different things about how volcanic eruption can endanger human life. The key here is the endanger human life. Quite a lot of people wrote about the ash cloud, which is true, it is an effective volcano, but they didn't say how it specifically could endanger human life. So, for example, you might want to write that it could cause airplanes to crash. If it means you just can't fly, that's not really endangering life. But the sort of thing to talk about here are some of the things that come out of a volcano, like the gases and how that can poison people, the lava, which can destroy people's buildings, or it could even kill people. If you're going to talk about the ash, you could say how it could damage crops, and that could then endanger people's lives, especially in the developing world. But key there really is endanger. If we look at the next question asks for one method that can be used to predict when an earthquake is likely to erupt. So because it's asking for one, and it's 2 points, you're going to have to say what it is and develop it. So you could talk about using a tiltometer or a seismograph to measure any movement or in the volcano, mini earthquakes, and that might help. You can also look at areas of water, so hot springs around the volcano, and measure the temperature, and if the temperature increases, then you can predict that it's going to happen. So you've got to be writing about what it is, e.g. the hot spring, and then the temperature increasing to get the second point. You can also use satellites, so that'd be the first point, and they can measure any changes in the size of the volcano very precisely using sort of GPS, and those things would help. If we look at the final question, describe how people can prepare for earthquakes. Notice here that we started talking about volcanoes, but now we're talking about earthquakes. Some people did make the mistake of carrying on thinking about volcanoes. So that shows you've really got to look carefully at what the question is asking you. So here we're talking about 4 marks. So ideally we want 4 different things, but we also want to develop them. And in the best examples, we've seen named examples, e.g. Japan. So some of the ways we can prepare would be building design. That would be doing things like deep foundations, making it so the building can move in an earthquake and doesn't just crack, putting a large metal weight at the top of skyscrapers that helps it to balance, cross bracing, all those would go under building design. Also we can educate people so that they can be prepared, know what to do in an earthquake, e.g. Going under the tables or into a door frame. People can also have emergency kits, and people did talk about those, so things like first aid kits in, torches, bottled water, and a radio so they can find out what's happening. So those would be different examples of how people can prepare. We're looking for 4 different things, or we're looking for 2 things which have been developed either with specific detail or with examples of places.